Hello everyone, this is Venomite here, and today I have yet another Elle Lawlite X-Reader fanfiction. Yes, I know that there's probably going to be at least one fan out there who probably will question my pronunciation on Elle's name, but I don't control the way things work around here. I know I'm probably mispronouncing it, but I don't really care. Anyway, sorry to start off a video that I haven't posted that's like a fanfiction like that. I'm sorry. It's just like I've heard some fans like get really kind of stickler about pronouncing his name right, and it's like I don't know. Anyway, so it's a little unusual because I guess I completely forgot about it. I don't know how I did, but I literally have 4 different Elle stories from my one-shot book on Wattpad that I kind of just forgot about, I guess. I don't know how I did, but I did, and there's like 4 of them. One of them being the one I'm showing now, and it's kind of funny because I remember people asking like, hey, are you going to do more Death Note content? And I was like, yeah, I plan on it, and apparently I've just had these sitting here for God knows how long, and I just forgot, which is a little embarrassing to say the least, but after these 4 videos get published, because these stories are already done, I plan on tackling another project that was a request that a fan made years ago that I still haven't finished, and I feel awful about it. But I want to keep trying, and I want to finish the story for them because they've been so, they've been so patient with me when I probably don't deserve that. So I want to repay them. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I have a couple other projects in mind, but again, like, there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of the list of things I want to tackle on stories, and yeah. But anyway, I will also talk about how I've recovered from COVID probably at the end of the video, because that's when people are going to leave. I just wanted to give you all the content so you can decide to stay or not. So, if you want to stick around to the end to hear about the COVID story, then feel free, but if not, then, well, let's just give y'all what you clicked on for first, okay? So this is simply titled Sweet Notes, and this was an AU idea I saw on Google Images. So without further ado, I hope you all enjoy, and let's get started. Elle walked into his favorite little coffee shop. It was super perky and cutesy. The cool thing about this coffee shop was that it also worked as a small candy store. The owner was a sweet old lady who had been working who had the business for years. Lovely Elle was friends with the owner for quite a long time, so needless to say, he was rather startled to walk into the shop this one particular day and happened to see a young girl. She had hair-color hair and eye-color eyes that shined as she looked up to see him enter the store. "Hello, I'm your name. What can I get you?" she said in a sweet voice. Elle felt his face flush a little, but he did his best to hold his composure. Yes, I'd like a black coffee with a lot of sugar." "Okay. Would you like any candy to go with it?" "Yes, I'd love some strawberry lollipops." "How many?" 15. She nodded, and Elle was rather surprised by that. Most people are a little shocked at how much candy he orders, but she didn't even flinch. Safe to say she had a sweet tooth. "I love these lollipops too. I'll get your coffee," she said, bagging the candy and turning over to the coffee machine. As she was making his beverage, Elle couldn't help but deduce her. Your name is likely a relative of the woman who owned the business. Elle had assumed that she must have moved to Japan seeking a job and maybe even a place to stay. So he knew that there was around a 70% chance the woman had known the owner well enough that she had offered to stay in Japan so long as she worked her way through. Pardon me. Elle's thought process was cut short when Your Name had turned around, his coffee in her hand. She rang him up and he made sure to give her a generous tip. Elle then left, leaving both of them with butterflies in their stomach. Your Name would continue to see Elle repeatedly throughout the month, but as she saw him, she started to do this tiny little routine. She would leave notes on Elle's cups of coffees as a way of encouraging him. She didn't know why, but she just felt like he would need a little pick-me-up. Elle was quick to notice too. He didn't mind it at first. If anything, he welcomed it. But then, one day, Elle received a certain note that took him by surprise. It was a note that had Your Name's number. Elle flushed a little, but smiled. He then went back off to headquarters. When Elle left the cafe, Your Name felt her heart race like a drummer's speed. she saw him walk off after reading the note. Your couldn't help but feel her heart break a little. She thought that Elle was different, but apparently not. Elle had gotten back from the coffee shop, but by the time he did, it was already 8:45 p.m. He knew that she was likely resting since she got off work, so Elle knew it would likely be too rude to text her so late. He went off to investigate his current case, and before he knew it, the sun was back up and high in the sky. When Elle ran out of his coffee, he decided to go see Your. He was looking forward to seeing her daily note. When Your was working on a simple coffee, when the bell rang above the door, signaling that someone entered the store. She looked up and saw Elle. Her face paled a little, but she bit back the urge to walk away and take a break. Calm down. He's just one of the many guys who has ghosted me. Keep your cool. Don't give him the control, Your thought. Elle walked up to the counter and ordered his usual coffee and candy. Your handed it over and he paid for it. But when Elle got out of the shop, he examined his coffee a little closer. She didn't write him a note. He was obviously confused, but he, being oblivious to social cues, did not think much of it. He just assumed that she forgot and let it go. When Elle got back from the coffee shop, he checked the time. 8:45. Damn. He didn't want to push his luck with texting her so late, but Elle couldn't help himself. He unlocked his phone and sent a message. To the number Your wrote. Hello, Your. No response. At least not at first. So now you text me? What do you mean? You didn't text me when I gave you my number. Question mark? I didn't text you because it was 8:45 p.m. when I got home. I was told that it could be considered rude to text a woman so late at night. Your immediately felt super bad. I'm sorry. I honestly thought that you had ghosted me. Ghosted? I'm not familiar with that term. Ghosting is when you don't tell someone you don't want to hang out anymore. You just sort of leave them hanging. Oh, well, that was never my intention. I apologize if it came across that way. No need. I'm sorry that I assumed the worst. It's fine. But does this mean you'll still give me my motivational notes? Lol. Yes, of course. Elle was smiling as he saw your last message. He was happy that you had forgiven him for the misunderstanding. But of course, he was just glad, but he was also just glad that he wouldn't have to worry about those little notes going away anytime soon. The end? Question mark? I'm not sure if I'm gonna write a part 2 for this story because I really like how it turned out. I actually remember rereading this earlier, just seeing what I wrote, and I actually kind of liked the idea of adding a miscommunication factor to my story. I thought it was kind of funny because I don't typically do that. It's not really something I do very often, and I don't know why, actually, because I really like how this turned out. It was pretty good, all things considered, especially compared to my previous stories involving Elle. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not purely that proud of Puppy Love or Lovely Poems. I don't think they're that great. I really don't, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call it quits there. But instead, I will continue to narrate the rest of the stories. I'm not sure if I'll have all 4 of them up by tonight, because there's 3 more. The next one's really short, like probably only a couple hundred words, but the 2 after the next one are a little bit longer. So yeah, keep that in mind. But anyway, if you don't want to hear the story about COVID, it's nothing really bad, but it's probably going to be very boring. So if you want to go ahead and click off now for after hearing the story, then you're more than welcome to. But if you want to stick around, that's totally fine. I don't really mind either way. But basically, it was not fun getting COVID, actually. As I explained in my live stream a little while ago, I got COVID and my cough that I had was so aggressive that I was given, an inhaler and this thing called, oh God, what was it called? I think it was, Advair or something like that. It was, the inhaler and the Advair are, medicines that I know of because of an animator that talks about having asthma who frequently takes those things. And I was like, oh. And I've never had asthma, honestly. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised by that. Because my immune system is really bad. And there is a really extensive and deep reason as to why my immune system is garbage. But that's kind of a long story all on its own. But I just will say that it's really related to a really serious medical event that happened when I was really young. So it's a little complex, and I don't even remember the whole event because I was so young. I was essentially a toddler, so I don't think a toddler would remember that, especially if it was like that traumatic. But basically, it took a toll on me health-wise, and it even affected aspects of me like my teeth. That was a shit show that I don't wish on anyone. That was just like, getting my teeth fixed was a nightmare. And it technically still is, because I'm wearing braces and whatnot, but my teeth are straight now. We're just filling in gaps. But oh my god, that getting COVID was nightmare fuel. I actually just, like, in my mind, I thought, like, maybe I should just die. Like, is this it? Is this my time to die? Like, oh god, I felt awful. I know I say that as a joke, and I want to emphasize this. I'm not suicidal anymore. But I did experience a point in time whenever I was in the past, but I remember whenever I got COVID and just, like, the 2 weeks that I was recovering from it, I just remember I would think in my mind, like, that little negative voice, that negative voice in your head that tells you stupid crap that makes you feel awful. That voice was pretty much almost taunting me in a way, saying, like, you could fix all this right now if you down a bottle of pills. And it's like, I'm not gonna do that, thank you. It just sucked. I hated it. Getting COVID was not fun at all, and I don't wish it on anyone. And that's kind of why I stand by my statement that you need to take precautions. And if you can get the vaccine, get the vaccine. If not for yourself, for other people, because it's like, the idea behind the vaccine is that while, yes, it doesn't prevent you from getting COVID, it can make it, 1, less miserable, and 2, it also prevents you from spreading it to other people. And it's like, it's not about you at the end of the day. It's about the people that are immunely compromised that could die from the virus if you don't get the vaccine. So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I hated getting COVID, and what sucked is I was planning on getting my booster shot not long before I got COVID. Like, we were literally waiting to get approved. My mom got it because she's an essential employee she works with a lot of children, and she also was at one point a nurse, so she got the booster pretty like, I think about a month ago or so, if I remember right. And my dad got the booster shot weeks before getting COVID, but I felt so bad because, oh god, I worried my whole family. Like, my whole household was paranoid for me. They're like, are you okay? And it's like, I don't feel it. And at the end of the day, though, I kind of am glad that I'm the one who got the worst of it, because if my family if one of my family members got the worst of COVID, I would not have wanted that. It's like, I'd rather just suffer and deal with it myself. And my parents said, like, well, we disagree with that. And it's like, yeah, well, that's too damn bad, because I got the worst of it. So, I don't know, but it was not a good time, and I've fully recovered. I'm much better now. I don't even have the cough anymore, which was the most, I think, debilitating part for me. Like, I made the joke a lot where I would say, like, oh, I cough more than I breathe at this point, which is it wasn't a total lie, if I'm being honest with you. I was just miserable. But I've made a recovery, at least physically. I'm dealing with a couple mental health struggles that have come from getting COVID. There were a couple things that happened after getting COVID that kind of threw me for a loop, both mentally and emotionally. And it's honestly nothing even that's been happening in my life. It's more something that's just been happening in my own mind, if you will. I don't even know what's really causing it. It's a lot. But I hope to be back in running order eventually. I hope to sort out the issues and not worry you guys, because I know that y'all subscribe to my content for the fanfiction and not for the extra problems that I talk about. So if you've come this far in the video, I really appreciate it. That's super sweet of you, but yeah, it's like, I really hope that y'all understand and whatnot where I've been. It's like, I know that it's not fun getting COVID and whatnot, so please, for the love of God, just take precautions, because you do not at all want COVID. You just don't. It sucks. So, I don't know. But for the Elle fangirls and fanboys and non-binary people, like everybody, all the fans of Elle, I hope that y'all are excited for the content that's to come. I don't believe, I could be wrong, but as far, I'm looking at the next Elle story on my Wattpad here, and it actually is gender neutral too, so it works out. But as far as I know, the rest of these are going to be gender neutral, which works out well, because I've said it before, and it's like, again, I really do want everybody to be included with my fan fiction. I don't want only women or only anyone to be able to enjoy it. I really want everybody to enjoy the joy that is fan fiction, because I think everybody deserves that, because fan fiction it's so good. So I hope that all of you enjoyed this video. This is a long video. Oh God, I feel really bad for the people listening to this. But I hope that all of you enjoyed, and I hope that everybody is staying safe out there, and I hope that you guys are excited for the next 3 videos, technically 4, to come, and I hope all of you stay safe out there. And as always, this is Fenimator, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye!